Alex Ray is an alternative pop star in the making. With her new single Driver's Side out today, let's jump right into things with Alex Ray on Televised magazine. How's your day been so far?
Good. I have been making TikToks as
Okay.
all artists do
Yep.
nowadays. And working my little day job and just hanging out, prepping for driver's side.
Is making TikToks one of your favorite or least favorite parts of,
I
what
think
you do?
I've yeah, I think I've learned to like it. I think
Hmm.
like a lot of artists now hate that we have to also be content creators, but I
Yeah.
started my internet journey on YouTube, and I feel
Okay.
like now, I've made it fun for myself, so
Yeah. So it's
it's
kind
made
of
it a lot
like
easier.
ingrained into you at this point to do it
Yeah,
well.
I am a content girly at heart, so for
Yeah.
sure.
I know when I started, it was difficult trying to also be a content creator as well as an interviewer and trying to
Yeah.
mix both those worlds. But getting right into driver's side, it's pun intended, all gas, no brakes. It's about feigning the act of confidence and the story of how that can all kind of come crashing down. Did you pull from any personal experiences to tell that story?
Of course I did. I literally only write about my life. I do
Okay.
not have the ability to write about anything else. It's how I cope with things, honestly.
Hmm.
And I feel like as a songwriter, once I write about it, I'm over it. So that's the beauty of
It
it.
helps you process those feelings.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm good now. Driver's Side is actually about a relationship that definitely shaped the way I love. So when I
Hmm.
was around 20, I moved to Nashville for the first time, had a little internship, was learning, everything. And I fell head over heels for this person who was already on the tail end of another relationship. So I was kind of the rebound.
Okay.
And it's this story about how I saw him and I knew I wanted him and I felt kind of like I had this alter ego, like a siren. Like I would get whatever I wanted and I knew it. And I kind of
Hmm.
put on, just like you said, I like feigned this confidence that, anything that I said would go. But inside, I was panicking that he would change his mind at any point in time. And so I think driver's side tells that story. And then at the bridge, you kind of get a glimpse into like, oh, wait, and maybe she's not as sure of herself
Maybe
as
it's all
she's
falling
saying.
apart
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
That's it must be interesting in is it nerve-wracking at all to put your soul out in that way?
I think, I mean, in the age of the internet, right, you put it out
Yeah.
there, and if it doesn't get a good response, it's like a shot to you as your character, It's not like I'm making like a product, and if people don't like the product, it's like separated from me in any way.
Hmm.
It's like my thoughts and my feelings in my life that people are saying they don't like.
Right.
Um, but I think I've always been a very open person on my YouTube channel, and I've been very vulnerable with my YouTube community. And so it's kind of getting easier. And I think too, I love so many songwriters that pull from their experience, like Conan Gray's new album, Wishbone. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, it's my perfect album. And it's just a story that he told from his life. And so I
Okay.
respect that so much and love that. And it encourages me to do the same thing.
Hmm. Yeah, some of the best, well, best is subjective. Some of the most notable songwriters, especially in the modern day, are ones that pull from their own experiences. I mean, we'll use Taylor Swift as an example. I mean,
My girl.
obviously, some songs on, especially on Folklore and Evermore, are fictitious stories.
Yeah.
But for the most part, she pulls from her own life and her own experiences, and that lets her share herself without directly saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure. I'm a
yeah.
Swiftie at heart, so definitely
Okay.
grew up on her. Yeah.
What's your favorite album of hers?
That's tough. I think Reputation and
Okay.
Evermore are both tied for first and will
Hmm.
always have that place
Okay.
in my heart. But like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Midnight's also did it for me. I think Tortured Poets Department is a favorite in a different way,
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think part of there are different kinds of songwriters, right? You have the session
Yeah.
songwriters who can walk in, they can rock out a pop banger in, no time, and then boom, it's chart topping. And then you have other
Hmm.
songwriters who, if they don't feel connected to it in some way, they don't feel ownership over it. And I
Yeah.
feel like I fall into that category of like, I need to
Okay.
tell my story to feel like I own this thing that I made.
It's got to be your own experiences
Yeah.
to connect deeper to it.
Yeah. And
I
when I'm writing with other people, I can kind of like compartmentalize, like, okay, this isn't about me. Like, let's
yeah.
talk to them and get down to what they're feeling right now, and we can get a great product. But when it comes to me, it has to be about
Because
me.
there
So
were a couple co-writers on driver's side, weren't there?
yeah, and so
Okay.
typically how we work within our little team that we have, I work with Daddy, Dade, line over the E,
Hmm.
who's one of my favorite people on this planet, and they're a wonderful producer and artist and songwriter. And then John Sinclair of World's First Cinema, that's his
Okay.
band, but he's also my producer.
Hmm.
And so typically we go into the room and one of us will have this idea that we already came up with, whether it be a melody or John's like worked on a track or something like that. And we'll kind of just like all simultaneously work. Like I'll give a direction and he'll kind of plug away at the track. We're working
Hmm.
on lyrics and melodies. We'll come together every once in a while and kind of like, converge. So it's like I have to be very open and vulnerable with these people, and they know a lot about me because we're talking about very in-depth parts of my life.
Yeah, it's got to be interesting to deal with, but I'd imagine it also turns them into really good friends at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean they're two of my best friends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Driver's Side is coming out almost 2 years to the day of your first song. At least the one that I can see on Apple Music was
Yeah.
released September 22nd, 2023. What are some moments of the last 2 years of making music and being out there that have blown you away or were things that you might not have expected?
Yeah, I think the timeline is interesting of this like music journey. So I wouldn't consider myself actually like giving music my full attention and like a full shot
Mhm.
till about February of this past year.
Okay.
Like Thinking We Should Talk came out and I loved it, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to market that song. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to get it in the hands of people. Um, and so it kind of it was received wonderfully by both mine and Saywin's audiences, but I feel like it could have had a bigger moment. And then from there I kind of played with genres. Like I wrote Cannonball, which was more synth pop. I wrote Sky's Song because of this I went through this terrible thing and it was more Americana. And so I feel like the past probably that moment that you're asking about would be the moment we defined my sound and realized
Okay.
like this is what we're doing. And so about January, February of this past year, I went to LA with the purpose of like we are writing a project.
Mhm.
And about two songs in, it might have been Driver's Side. We were like, oh, this is what it
That's
is.
it.
This is the Alex Ray sound. And so
Mhm.
I think that moment was like, okay, we're locked in now. Like
Kind
we
of
can do
like
this.
alt pop with some rocky guitar influences. How would you best describe your sound? You can put it into words better than I could.
Yeah, I love that artists now are playing around with genres. Like
So do
obviously we
I.
have Taylor Swift who changes genres every album and
Yeah,
she's not
this
scared to do that.
her next one is allegedly going back to like 1989
Yeah, we're
pop
going Max
banger style. We'll
Martin.
see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, and so like got her playing with that. We have Conan
Hmm.
who just did like Found Heaven who was like 80s influence and then now we're back to the singer-songwriter
Yep.
version of him. Like and then you have even albums like Jen of BTS's album played with like country and then like
Hmm.
OTP and like all these different things.
And some
So
of them, like Post Malone, are doing drastic changes. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And so I love that artists feel free to do that. And so I feel free to do that. And so
Hmm.
I would say the lane that we're in, or the interstate that we're in,
Yeah.
because there's different lanes in it, would be like pop, rock, a little bit grungy. But then
Hmm.
within that interstate, we have like trap influences, we have pop influences, we have a
Yeah.
little synth influence, like things like that. And so I think we feel free to play around sonically with things, but
Hmm.
at its core, it's pop rock.
Yeah. So you've mentioned a couple artists, Taylor Swift and Conan Gray, but who are some other names that have sort of inspired the sound, or who were you listening to a lot when you came to that decision of this is what I want my sound to be?
Yeah, my playlists are insane. So I
Yeah.
listen to everybody from I love BTS, I love
Okay.
K-pop. I'm a K-pop girly. I love the pop girls that are taking over right now. I love it. But
Hmm.
at my core, like who I grew up with were the Warped Tour bands. Like I loved
Okay.
Mayday Parade, I loved Hey Monday, Paramore, all of them. And so I think when we were kind of coming to decision and looking at inspo tracks, it was Charlotte Sands, it was Taylor Acorn, it was
Hmm.
Mothica, Honey Revenge, those girl bands and artists who were just killing the game in the rock space,
Yeah.
but also a little bit of Beauty School Dropout, which is a little more like pop punk rock-ish, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so like grunging those sounds up a little bit.
Okay. So a good, nice mix of influences.
Yeah, for sure.
Driver's Side is your third release of 2025. So
Yes,
momentum shows no real signs of slowing down. We talked about the past, the best moments of the last 2 years. Where do you see yourself this time next year? What does the future look like? The short-term future, at least.
that's crazy. Yeah, I feel like some of the momentum, no signs of slowing down is definitely me. I am 29. I've changed
Mhm.
careers. I was a literal attorney, which is
Oh,
insane.
wow.
Yeah, so I was a lawyer. I went to law school and all that.
My
Um,
my sister's in pre-law right now. She's a freshman, so
Bless her heart. Is she going to law school?
she wants to.
Okay. Listen, it's not as bad as TV makes it out to seem. But yeah, I was an attorney. And then in early spring this last year, I, you know, my I just stopped. I just like decided like I
Mhm.
just can't do this anymore. And
Yeah.
so I got, kind of a chill corporate job for the day job and then I'm doing content and music. And so all that to say, I feel this kind of like rush that I don't think men feel in the industry, being
Hmm.
29 and a woman. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm aging out of this." Like so I
Yeah.
have to get momentum now so when I'm 32, labels can look at me and be like, "Oh, she's built an audience. Like we have 8 more years out of her," something like
Hmm.
that. And so
It's
the
it is
no,
insane
go ahead.
the double standard that women face. When you were saying that, it made me think of I can't remember who was saying it. I think it was a WWE wrestler who said she was doing an interview with ESPN and she said women like men's wrestlers can go till they're 40 or 50 and nobody cares, but women
Mhm.
once you're older than like 35, they don't want you winning championships or this or that or putting you in the top stories or whatever it is. And it's also true in music as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I put a lot, I mean, it keeps me up at night. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm aging out of this. What have I done? Why
Hmm.
did I waste the past 9 years? But it's so true. You look at men, and I mean, they could be 40 and they're like, great,
Yeah.
we're going on another tour and there's no signs of stopping, and
Hmm.
people don't really think twice about it, but for women, they do. So to answer your actual question, this time next year, I would love to be coming off of like some festivals during the summer.
Yeah.
I would love to be like talking to other bands about opening for them
Hmm.
and getting on a tour. I would love to be, gearing up for the next project release or have just released it. I would love to like play some shows and like have fans come for that show.
Yeah.
Like,
Come to see you. You mentioned
yeah.
opening for artists. So that takes me to our last question. I looked through your Instagram and you do go to a fair amount of concerts, Taylor
Oh,
Swift,
let me
Harry Styles. So let's play a game and ask if you could open for any artist on a tour, who would it be? You can give a couple if you want.
5 seconds of summer.
5 Seconds of Summer? Okay.
No thoughts. Like literally no
Just
thoughts.
immediately.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Are they one
mean,
of your favorites?
oh God, they're like probably my favorite band of all time. I
Okay.
think, and they on their tours, they do a phenomenal job of supporting female fronted bands or female artists.
Hmm.
Like every tour that I've been to of theirs or every show, it's been a female fronted band, and so that's super important to them.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably one of my biggest influences musically because they
Hmm.
do change kind of genre influences every album. And then all four of the guys have released their solo projects and they're just so different across the board. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I love them so much. Would be
Okay.
them.
That was a very quick answer.
Oh, yeah. I've thought about that one.
Okay. Hey, it was great having you. Before we go, where can fans find you on social media?
I am Alex underscore Ray underscore music on every single social media site. I do not know how I swung that, but we have it all.
You got it on all of
So
them.
I have it on all of them. So if you're looking me up, it's Alex Ray Music or the handle is Alex underscore Ray underscore music. You
That
can find
makes
me
it easy for
everywhere.
people to find you. And then the question I end every interview with, what are your three favorite songs at the moment? Whether it was me asking you, your best friend, or you're walking down the street and someone's like, what are you listening to?
Okay, there is this phenomenal indie artist. Her name is Tess Claire, Clare,
Yes,
and
she was like my first or second interview I ever
oh
did
my
like a
God,
year ago.
I'm
She's amazing.
fangirling.
She's
I'm literally
amazing.
such a fan of her. Okay, she's got this song called Diva. I have
Hmm.
listened to it no less than 200 times. I
Okay.
like it.
So you're a
That's my
super fan.
number. I'm a super fan of Tess Claire. Tess, I love you. Um, So Diva is probably my number one right now.
Mhm.
Number two would be This Song by Conan Gray, although I have to listen to that alone in my house because it does make me cry every single time.
It's not when you'd be listening to walking down the street.
Nar. I know it just like tears, just immediate tears. And
Okay.
then probably this is like getting tough now. I feel like I've got a good rotation. Okay, so probably Killing It Girl by J-Hope. That came out this spring, but it's
Hmm.
lived rent free in my head. And that's my like feeling like a baddie song, when
Okay.
I turn it on. So,
There we go. Everybody can go listen to Alex Ray's favorite songs at the moment. Can listen to Driver's Side out now when you're seeing
yeah.
this. Thank you for joining me.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
Of
This was so
course. I had a
fun.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun making this happen. It took like a little over a month to make it happen, but we got here somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.